wisdom within pain. Welcome to Void. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Today we're exploring how pain, when approached with awareness, contains wisdom that can lead to profound healing and freedom. We live in a culture that treats pain as an enemy to be vanquished. We have countless medications, distractions, and strategies designed to eliminate pain as quickly as possible. While there's nothing wrong with seeking relief from intense suffering, our reflexive rejection of pain often prevents us from receiving the profound wisdom it carries. There's a crucial distinction between pain and suffering that can transform our relationship with difficult experiences. Pain is the raw, unprocessed sensation or emotion that arises in response to certain conditions. It might be physical discomfort, emotional wounding, or mental anguish. Pain, in itself, is simply data, information arising in our field of awareness. Suffering, on the other hand, is what happens when we resist that pain. It's the additional layer of struggle, rejection, and narrative we place on top of the raw experience. If pain is the primary note, suffering is the discordant symphony we create around it. This shouldn't be happening. I can't bear this. This will never end. These thoughts generate suffering far beyond the original pain. When we understand this distinction, we realize that while pain may be inevitable in human life, suffering is indeed optional. We can experience pain without the additional layer of resistance that creates suffering. This doesn't mean we seek out pain or deny its intensity. Rather, it means we meet pain directly without the amplifying effect of our struggle against it. Pain serves as a messenger, pointing to areas where we're holding on, resisting life's natural flow, or maintaining illusions about reality. Physical pain often indicates where our bodies need attention and care. Emotional pain reveals where our hearts are still healing, or where we're clinging to attachments. Mental suffering points to beliefs and stories that no longer serve our evolution. When we learn to listen to pain rather than immediately try to silence it, we access the intelligence it carries. Each pain has its specific message, its particular wisdom to impart. The pain of grief teaches us about love and impermanence. The pain of rejection reveals our attachments to others' approval. The pain of failure shows us where we've identified with outcomes rather than process. Our resistance to pain typically takes three forms, each creating its own flavor of suffering. The first is avoidance, attempting to escape or numb the pain through distractions, addictions, or excessive busyness. While this may provide temporary relief, avoided pain doesn't dissolve. It merely goes underground, often emerging later with greater intensity or in disguised forms. The second form of resistance is rejection, fighting against the pain, viewing it as wrong or unfair, and trying to force it away. This approach creates an inner war that consumes enormous energy, while actually intensifying the original pain. What we fight against, we energize. What we resist persists. The third form is identification, becoming so merged with the pain that we lose perspective and believe it defines us. I am anxious. I am heartbroken. This total identification with pain creates a false identity structured around suffering, making it nearly impossible to access the awareness that could contain and transform the pain. The path of wisdom involves a fourth approach, conscious presence. By staying present with pain while maintaining awareness of our deeper nature, we create space for transformation. This presence allows pain to move through us rather than becoming stuck in our system. Imagine holding a burning coal. If you grip it tightly, identification, you intensify the burn. If you frantically try to throw it away, rejection, You may burn yourself worse or pass the pain to someone else. If you pretend it's not burning, avoidance, you still suffer damage without addressing it. But if you hold it with open, aware palms, presence, you can acknowledge its heat while allowing it to cool naturally or finding a mindful way to release it. Through this process of presence, pain becomes a catalyst for awakening. It breaks down our resistance, softens our defenses, and opens us to greater understanding. Like a forest fire that clears the way for new growth, pain can clear away old patterns and create space for fresh life to emerge. Pain serves as a tool of elevation, pushing us toward greater joy and expansion when we approach it with awareness. Consider how a weightlifter must push against resistance to build strength. Without the pain of lifting heavy weights, the muscles would never develop. Similarly, our consciousness requires the resistance of pain to evolve to higher states of awareness and joy. Many of us live within a narrow band of comfort, avoiding both the depths of pain and the heights of joy. When we resist pain, we inadvertently cap our capacity for joy, as these energies exist on the same spectrum of human experience. By opening to pain with presence, we simultaneously expand our capacity for ecstasy, bliss, and profound fulfillment. The depth to which we can feel pain corresponds directly to the height to which we can experience joy. This is why some of the most awakened beings throughout history have faced tremendous suffering. They didn't become liberated despite their pain, but through it. The pain pushed them beyond their limited identities into the boundless freedom of their true nature. What appeared as misfortune became the very doorway to their liberation. Here's a fascinating paradox. When pain is genuinely welcomed, it tends not to stay. Pain enjoys the dance of resistance. When you don't entertain it by resisting, it says, "This is not fun," and the energy moves on, seeking a more entertaining host. Pain thrives on your struggle against it. That's where it derives its staying power and intensity. It's like a persistent visitor who keeps knocking because you keep slamming the door. If you simply open the door wide and say, "Come in, sit down, tell me why you're here," the visitor often delivers their message quickly and then leaves. But as long as you keep the door barricaded, they'll keep knocking with increasing urgency. This isn't just poetic metaphor. It's how energy actually works. Resistance creates energetic density and stagnation. Acceptance creates energetic flow and transformation. When you fully welcome pain without the slightest resistance, you'll often be amazed at how quickly it delivers its wisdom and dissolves, or how it transforms into something entirely different. Perhaps intense sensation without suffering, or even unexpected pleasure or release. Some of history's greatest spiritual awakenings, artistic creations, and personal transformations have emerged directly from pain met with presence. Pain cracks open the shell of our limited identity, allowing something deeper and truer to emerge. When we stop running from pain and instead turn toward it with awareness, we discover that it contains precisely the medicine we need for our evolution. This understanding doesn't mean we seek out pain or ignore practical steps for relief. Rather, it means we meet pain with awareness when it arises, trusting its role in our evolution while maintaining connection to our unchanging essence beyond all pain and pleasure. Now, I'd like to guide you through a practice for mapping the wisdom within your pain. Begin by bringing to mind a pain you're currently experiencing. This might be physical discomfort, emotional distress, or mental anguish. For this practice, choose something that feels challenging but manageable. Something you can work with without becoming overwhelmed. As you connect with this pain, notice if you've been using any of the 3 forms of resistance we discussed. Have you been avoiding this pain through distraction or denial? Have you been rejecting it by fighting against it or wishing it away? Have you been identifying with it, believing that it defines you? Simply notice these patterns without judgment. Now shift into a stance of gentle presence. Imagine creating some space around the pain, not pushing it away, but allowing it to be held in a larger field of awareness. You might visualize this pain as a visitor who has something important to tell you, rather than an enemy to be vanquished. With this quality of receptive presence, begin to explore the pain more directly. Where exactly do you feel it in your body? What are its qualities? Is it sharp or dull, moving or static, hot or cold? Notice how it changes as you observe it with acceptance rather than resistance. Now, listen more deeply to this pain. If it could speak, what might it say? What message might it be carrying for you? Is it pointing to something that needs your attention? Is it revealing an attachment you've been clinging to? Is it showing you a truth you've been avoiding? Is it guiding you toward a necessary change? Don't force an answer. Simply create the space for insight to arise naturally. Sometimes the wisdom becomes clear immediately. Other times it emerges gradually over time as you maintain this receptive awareness. As you listen to your pain with presence, you might notice that it begins to shift or transform. It may intensify briefly as it's finally being heard, then gradually release as its message is received. Or it may reveal deeper layers that need attention. Trust this process, allowing the pain to move as it needs to. Throughout this exploration, remember that you are not the pain. You are the awareness within which pain appears. This awareness, your true nature, remains untouched by pain, even as it fully allows the experience. From this recognition, you can be with pain without being consumed by it. As we conclude this practice, acknowledge yourself for having the courage to turn toward pain rather than away from it. This is profound work that goes against our cultural conditioning and instinctual reactions. By meeting pain with presence, you're not only transforming your own suffering, but contributing to the evolution of collective consciousness. When we meet pain with awareness rather than resistance, it becomes our teacher rather than our enemy. We discover that pain isn't a punishment or a sign that something has gone wrong in the universe. It's a natural part of the human experience, carrying precise information we need for our growth and awakening. Join me next time as we explore how letting go transforms our relationships from spaces of need and fear to expressions of freedom and joy. Until then, may you find the courage to meet whatever pain arises with the presence that transforms suffering into wisdom.